Richard III, the last Plantagenet king of England, died in 1485. His two young sons, the princes in the Tower, disappeared in 1492. What happened to them? Were they murdered on the orders of their uncle, King Henry VII? Or was it a plot by powerful nobles seeking to end the Plantagenet dynasty once and for all? It's me. This is the Tower. Richard III had two sons, Edward and Richard, Duke of York. Their mother, Elizabeth Woodville, was the widow of Edward IV and a very ambitious woman. She wanted her sons to succeed their father as king. Despite the fact that the throne had passed to Henry Tudor after Richard's death at the Battle of Bosworth Field, Henry VII wasn't keen on this idea. He had Elizabeth and her daughters married off to various nobles, but he kept the boys as pawns in his game of political chess. In 1492, when the elder boy, Edward, was 13 and his brother Richard was 9, they were sent to live with their grandfather, the Earl of Rivers, ostensibly for their own safety. But it was widely believed that their mother had had them taken to a place of safety so that they could one day reclaim the throne. That same year, both boys vanished without a trace. Now, there are lots of theories about what happened to the princes in the Tower, but the most popular one is that Henry VII had them killed. The problem with this theory is that there's no evidence to support it. We have no record of the boys being seen after they arrived at the Tower, nor do we have any evidence of foul play. On the other hand, we do have evidence that Henry VII was desperate to secure his dynasty and prevent a rival from taking the throne. Richard, Duke of York, would have been a very obvious threat, and while Edward was younger, he would have been old enough to rally support for a claim to the throne. By eliminating the princes in the Tower, Henry would have eliminated any potential rivals and secured his dynasty for the future. But who would have carried out the killings, and why? There are lots of people who would have benefited from the princes' deaths. Not just Henry VII. Powerful nobles like the Duke of Buckingham and the Earl of Northumberland would have been happy to see the back of the Woodville family and the end of the Plantagenets. In fact, there was a rumor circulating at the time that it was Buckingham who had murdered the boys, not Henry. So was it murder or a political conspiracy? I don't know about you, but I'm fascinated by this case. But I can't help thinking that if the boys really were murdered, it's strange that there's no record of anyone being brought to justice for their deaths. Of course, that doesn't mean that the killers weren't brought to justice, but it does make you wonder whether the story of the princes in the Tower is just that, a story. What do you think happened to the princes in the Tower? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe.